I heard you.
Let's go again. I gotta drop this. Woo. And then do it again. All right. Oh, yes. Are you ready? Ready? Let's down to it. Sorry.
You can do it by yourself, but especially in groups when everyone's synced up and feeling the beat together, like head nodding or dancing or really those difficult things and channeling through the art of music. Hopefully getting in pieces from So I really appreciate you saying that. I think that's a really important thing for us to think about, right? You said he really understood that it took time, and it sounded like he was patient. Is that right? Yeah. Like, when we think about both teachers and other people that are trying to help us, if someone's just getting on you, like, I don't think that's very therapeutic. I don't find that very helpful, right? If someone just constantly, yo, get it right. Like, what's wrong with you? Criticizing you and shaming you, right? And so I think what we find a lot later in life is that we all carry a lot of shame, and that doesn't help us. It doesn't really lead you to a better or more productive life. You may have internalized that from your parents or other people, teachers, whatever, who might be critical of you, but those are the voices that live inside our head that criticize us and really don't help us to perform better, to be happier. And so I think a lot of the work that we do as adults is trying to undo that. But the good news is that creating new relationships with people that really do care about you and have your best interest in mind, patient, see you for the person that you are, not for the way that society has labeled you, or whatever it is, be it the courts or other people, or but like really get the essence of you, like who you are as an individual. That's super important for us to be able to really authentically feel seen, heard, and recognized. And I think that's what we're all looking for. So relationships, this is fundamentally important. You want to teach someone something, you want to help. You're not gonna shame someone. Like, when was the last time you anyone in the world in history ever actually said their opinion by being shamed? That's not how it works. You don't change your opinion by being coerced. You have to have the space opened up for you, non-judgmentally, and come to it at your own speed. Right? So thank you for highlighting that. So what I hope is that by letting people come and do their thing, us being like, who are you? What are you all about? What kind of music do you like? What's your vibe, right? How can I help you facilitate that? It's really about providing the space, letting people do what they want to do, right? And the relationship is part of the transformational process. Having a new, positive relationship enables you to grow and to become a better version of yourself, and do what you want to do, right? Expressive. So there's two main ideas here. The first idea is really this idea of catharsis. Sigmund Freud, the guy who really pioneered psychotherapy and invented what we know in terms of therapy, psychotherapy, and talked about the unconscious and all that, had this idea of catharsis. Catharsis is the idea of let's say you're driving, right, and someone cuts you off in traffic. This happens plenty. I live in California, right? If someone cuts you off and they don't signal, maybe they hit your car, maybe they almost cause you to get into an accident or they cut you off. We can experience quote unquote road rage. We get triggered, right? And so for me, I have to remind myself, in Oakland, and I think this could happen in New York too, but in Oakland, you don't know who's carrying a gun. And if we just pull the gun out and shoot you for being like, hey, because I'm from New York. Hey, right, but you gotta watch yourself. You don't know who's gonna respond how. And so I might get kind of pissed off. It still be kind of, when you start to get your reaction, you start to get into that fight or flight state. But I remind myself, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to get into a fight. It's not worth it to get shot. It's not worth it to do. I had that happen to me in Brooklyn last night. This fool at the gas station was like, he was starting to start fights with the lady in the car. And I said, it's not worth it. Live your life. Don't let this fool pull you into it, right? So, how do you calm down? When your nervous system has been hijacked, when someone's talking shit and they're trying to pull you, they're like, hey, you gonna play my game? You gonna let me pull you into the negative stuff, right? So how do you calm down in the moment, and then how do you calm down later on? This is, have you, any of you gone to any anger management
Yeah,
groups?
you take a second, think back, analyze the situation, and see if it's working.
Yeah, and I actually have never done anger management group, but it's really interesting for me to
Yeah,
learn.
so that's what you basically gotta do. Take a moment, like, is this really worth it? This person really worth me going for this situation? You gotta take a step back before you just react. What would you just react? I think actually be a small part of this.
My question is, if you've already been hijacked by someone talking shit to you, you're like flashing, like you're getting pulled into it. How do you calm yourself? Like, how do you think if you're being pulled out of like a place where normally you can't think? Like, how do you calm yourself down? Just breathe.
Take a breath.
That's
Take a
true.
breath. You gotta really take a deep breath and really analyze the situation.
Have you had that happen? You've taken a breath and you felt like it worked for you?
Yeah. 2 times.
And so for me, sometimes I'll still be hanging on to that moment, even when I made that decision.
Yeah, I made that decision. I still blame myself.
Yeah, exactly, right? You'd be like, fuck that fool. Yeah.
And we all have.
You get home,
myself.
right? You get home, and then maybe like my girl, my fiance is super cool and super nice. And something I personally have been working on is not carrying over my frustration or my impatience or my frustration with someone else or another situation and projecting it onto her. Because she can do anything to me. She'll be like, she'll ask a totally reasonable question. And I'll find myself being kind of snappy or snarky or rude or
So you still upset about the
Yeah.
home, like, yo.
because I haven't calmed down fully. And sometimes we don't even know that. So, for me, I remember very specifically after getting cut off in traffic one time. And I went home and I made a beat about it. I channeled those emotions. So this is where I'm coming back to this point, the catharsis. I took that energy and that anger and that rage and that resentment and I put it into a beat. And I was like, what is this beat going to sound like? It's going to be gnarly. It's going to have like really hardcore, distorted bass. It's going to be really right? And I put it into that. And I try to articulate through the music how I felt so that I can get it out there. And this is the idea of catharsis. You channel that energy into it, and then catharsis is this sense of relief that you get once you put it out there, right? And hopefully you're letting it go and you're putting the energy into the aggression that's expressed in the music,
Yeah.
right? So then you get that sense of relief.
Just like working out.
Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect
Just like
example.
working out. You're angry, you
Yeah.
put it to working out in the gym.
Exactly. And then you've got endorphins when you're working out too, right? That's when you're done working out, when you do cardio or when you're really going hard lifting, then you get those endorphins after. And it helps quiet your nervous system down. So there's this kind of release, and then there's also, and then all traditional religions and cultures know this already, right? They know the rhythmic regulation of of music, the repetitive rhythms, they put us into trance-like states and they calm our body down. So, and especially, you could do it by yourself, but especially in groups when everyone's synced up and like feeling the beat together, like head nodding or dancing or really feeling it. If you've ever been to a concert or a show or a club where there's like just a banger on or a song that just everyone's singing together, really, that's a profound experience to feel connected to other people, especially through like the beat, all connected through that one beat. Everyone's like clapping together, like feeling it, right? That's a really incredible thing, and especially if you're someone who's experienced trauma, right? Where a traumatic event, multiple traumatic events that happened to you, where you felt isolated, like no one can understand your experience, what you've gone through. To have that